Hey, what's up guys? Jake here with this week's episode of What's New TW. We got a very special episode for you this week. We got an ICAST edition 2017. Everything I got on the table right here is kind of the early release items. It's available for buy now. You guys can get your hands on this stuff before the show starts here in a couple weeks. First thing I'm gonna go over is the new River Sea Whopper Plopper. You know, the Whopper Plopper's been one of the hottest baits in the country the last few years. We now got the new Whopper Plopper 110. So right in between the size of that 130 and 90. Some guys thought that 130 is a little too big and that 90 is a little too small. They met the demand, met you right in the middle in there with the 110 size. Still weighs an ounce, so you're gonna be able to throw this thing a mile. Got great super stout EWG style hooks on there. So, I mean, I know these things are gonna go fast. Get your hands on them when you can, guys. Up next from Lucky Strike, designed by the legend himself, Jimmy Houston, we got the Jimmy Houston Double Willow Spinnerbait. We all know Jimmy's been on TV and made a career out of bass fishing, throwing a spinnerbait for decades. Lucky Strike has teamed up with Jimmy and he's designed his very own spinnerbait to meet all his demands. Ball bearing swivels, oversized blades, hand-tied skirts, super stout hooks. So great new spinnerbait by Lucky Strike there. All right, we got 3 new items in from Nichols. The first one here is Clint Davis's light wire finesse swim jig. Now it seems like the more we go on here, it seems like it's becoming more and more important to downsize your presentation, get a more natural look. Don't always need a full big body skirt and heavy wire hooks and stuff like that. So now Nichols is giving you guys a light wire more of a finesse style swim jig option. Still, great bait. You can throw this thing on 15, 20 pound test and not gonna have any problems bending out the hook. It's not that light, but still just more of a downsized profile. So new light wire finesse swim jig. All right, next one from Nichols is their new skipping jig. As you can see here, flat head design. I think it's got a 30-degree line tie on it. It's a real stout hook, real stout weed guard, so you can be able to skip this thing into nasty cover, be able to get it out, no problem. Be able to go up and over wood, logs, dock pilings, anything like that. So another great jig here from Nichols. All right, last one for all you offshore guys and throwing those big nickel spoons. We got the Ben Parker spoon spinners. Now, Spro swivel on this, Worth split ring, super thin blades, going to produce a tremendous amount of flash. You attach these onto the head of your big, magnum size spoon. Get a little bit of extra flash as it's falling down, so a little bit different presentation, because another thing that's blown up the last few years is throwing those big spoons. So try adding these when the bite gets tough or you see every boat down the line throwing those big spoons. Change up your presentation a little bit, put that spoon spinner on there. All right, next up from Duo, we got the new Rasante 77 jerkbait. Now this is a beefed up little body jerkbait. Even though it's only 77 millimeters, still weighs 3/8 of an ounce. So again, when that bait's small or you're on a tough bite and you need to downsize a lot, you're not gonna have to put a small jerkbait on and have to throw it with a spinning rod. Since it weighs 3/8 of an ounce, it's got a magnetic weight transfer system in it, so still gonna be able to use your bait casting gear and get away with it and still have that finesse presentation, but a great little jerkbait, gonna produce tons of action and still be able to throw it on nice heavy bait casting gear. All right, new one up from Savage for all you northern guys. We got their new Goby tube. Now this is one of the coolest looking tubes I've ever seen, with the side fins on here, dorsal fins, all the molded details into the head and the gills here. Still, has those great tube tentacles on there to mimic those gobies that are real invasive up there up north. Still has a hollow body, so rig it any way you like. You can Texas rig it, flip it if you want, put your standard jig heads inside there. But great natural Goby presentation tube there from Savage here. All right, up next from V&M, designed by Bassmaster Classic champion Cliff Pace. We got Cliff Pace's skipping jig. Really like this jig he designed. Real flat, streamlined design. Going to be able to skip great, especially if you put a big flat trailer on there. It has a recessed line tie. I really like that feature on a lot of the jigs, and it even has the kind of the craw detailing on the head there. But it has that stout 30-degree, custom 30-degree Gamakatsu hook, and I believe it's a 5/32 weed guard on there. So again, be able to get you through any kind of cover, over logs, up under willow trees, over dock pilings, anything like that. And you guys are gonna be able to get this jig back and pull a lot of fish that don't get to see a lot of jigs like this. All right, got a couple new braided lines for you guys today. First one is by Phenix Rods. Actually, this is their Hydra 8-strand braid. Now, this braid is awesome. It's 8-strand construction, super slick. So it goes on and off, goes in and out of the guides very easily. Doesn't make a lot of noise. Real slick, gonna cast really well. But Phenix has got a proprietary process with their coloring, so this holds its color a lot longer than most of your traditional braids that lose its color and fades after just a few amount of trips. This is going to hold its color a lot longer, so it's great for freshwater, saltwater, anything you want to do with it. And with their new weaving process on there, it's one of the smallest diameters braid that's on the market right now. So, I mean, the 65 pound that I have here, it almost feels about like 50 pound, like a normal 50 pound braid. So be sure to check this out by Phenix. Next up from Vicious, we got Vicious braided line, but now they added the high vis yellow to the lineup. So, you know, great for spinning rod applications, any kind of light line. When you really need to detect those subtle bites and you know, it's real hard to see that moss green when it's laying on the water, try the yellow stuff. You know, it makes a big difference to be able to detect bites, especially on weightless stick baits, anything like that, where you really got to watch your line to see those bites. So check out the yellow line by Vicious. All right, got a couple new reels for you guys. The first one is the new Ardent Apex Denny Brauer flipping reel. You know, the king of flipping himself designed this reel. Improving on the last generation of Denny Brauer flipping reels, which weighed in about 10 ounces. This one comes in at 5.9, so almost cutting the weight down in half. As you can see, carbon fiber handle on this thing. Super tough construction, 11 ball bearings, really smooth. You know, it's a fixed level one, so I mean, for you guys that just flip all day, that's all you do, you definitely want to give this thing a look. It's got that real shallow spool in the middle, so it just holds just enough line to flip. But if all you're doing is making flips all day, you guys live in Florida, the Delta, anything like that, and that's all you do, definitely check this out. They got that fixed level wind in the middle, so it actually increases your flipping distance pretty significantly. So if you guys like to flip, definitely check this out, designed by the flipping master himself. All right, this one up, guys. We're lucky, Shimano let us use this for an imaging sample. This is a new Corrado 200K. We're all really excited about this reel coming out. It's going to be available for pre-order. It's going to be coming out here very shortly. We wanted to give you guys the first look at it before it's out. This Corrado has got a lot of the technologies trickled down from some of the higher end reels, the Chronarcs, the Metaniums, all those kind of reels. It's got the micromodular gearing on it, the SV Infinity braking system on the side, X-Ship technology that was in the previous edition. You know, big 90, 95 millimeter handle, I believe. A little bit bigger grips on this model, so got a lot of cranking power, but you can just feel how, when you crank the handle on this reel, you can feel how smooth it is. I mean, one of the best Corrados that's ever been made. Flat black on the outside, still has that kind of forest green spool on there. Kind of reminds you of the old last couple generations of Corrados, but still coming in at $179.99. I mean, outstanding reel by Shimano. They really nailed it out of the park with this one. So check out the new Corrado K by Shimano. All right, last up from Aftco, we got a couple new clothing items that you guys are going to want to check out for summertime. This is their new Samurai long sleeve shirt, sun shirt. So, you know, great when you're out there on the sun all day. If you're out there in just a short sleeve cotton t-shirt, definitely want to take a look into some of this high performance, you know, sun gear. I believe it's UPF 50 protection, so it's going to block out all the harmful UVA, UVB rays. Extremely comfortable, extremely lightweight, you know, keep the sun off you, you know, prevent skin cancer, things like that out there. Another great thing they came out with is their new M80 shorts. Real soft, you know, real light construction, be comfortable to wear all day. You know, far superior to wearing standard cotton shorts, anything like that. So check out all the new Aftco gear. We got a few new items in as well from Aftco that we didn't pull out to show you, but they got a whole line of great stuff you be sure you want to check out. Thanks for watching this week's episode of What's New TW, the ICAST edition. For more information on the products seen here today, please click the link or the shop in the description. And for more Tackle Warehouse videos, please click the link down and subscribe to our channel. Next week, guys, we got another special episode of What's New TW with more ICAST baits coming out. Make sure you stay tuned because Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we're going to have hundreds of videos going up showing you guys all the new stuff that's coming out in the fishing industry this year. And for all you A-Train fans out there, we got a Tackle Warehouse exclusive bait coming out. He's going to be showing you guys next week, so stay tuned.